What's up, guys? Welcome back to Krakada. It's your favorite girl, Priska, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm so happy you're here because today I'm going to be discussing on how to land your dream job, or maybe just a job in general. Because I know we don't really dream of having a job, but we have to make this money some way, somehow. So yeah, I do have a special guest to me, and he has all the deets on how you're going to land your job. So do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right to it. All right, guys. So let's introduce our special guest. With me here, I have. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Fortune. Fortune Chijike Fortune Obulano. I am a recruitment guy. I help companies get staff that will do the job the best way they want to do it. So yeah, Fortune. Thank you.
Yes, Fortune is one of the top recruiters at Kimberly Ryan. He's just. I don't know why he's belittling himself. He's one of the top recruiters at Kimberly Ryan, and he does have like a very good insight on how like employees want and how they like think when they're looking for candidates. So yeah, welcome, Fortune.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So before we get into like all the strategies and everything, what do you think? Like, how do you think the job market is?
Currently?
Yes.
Oh, to be very honest, a lot has changed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot has changed. There's a focus now on how much tech do you know. I mean, you hear a lot of I'm transitioning to tech.
Yeah.
I want to learn a tech skill. Everybody's paying
Yeah.
to learn a tech skill. So yeah, that's a major change. The fact that you have to know a bit of tech. You might not know so much. You might not be a tech bro or tech sis, but just know
Have a little insight.
and
Yeah.
then there's also, I mean, this is not very, very recent per se, but there's a shift from what you know to what you can do.
Yeah.
There used to be a time where employers were focused on what did you study?
Yes.
What school did you go to? What degree did you finish with? Now,
They're just looking at
nobody really
skills.
cares about that. As a matter of fact, some companies would rather put you on the job and see what you do on the job before they hire you.
Yeah.
So it now goes beyond having a wonderfully crafted CV, coming out with a good result, going to a good school.
It's all about what you can do.
Can you do this thing we want you to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's actually right. So we're not saying school is scam. You can still you can still go to school, study whatever you want to study. Just be good at it. Have that degree first. Just have that degree because anything can change. This now it can be tech. Next it can be something else. Like everything, things change constantly. So just make sure you have your degree. Then any other thing you want to do, just develop a skill on that because people are looking for skills now. It's not only about what you studied.
True.
So
Very, very true.
yeah. All right. So I would love to ask now on resumes. Obviously people look at resumes. So what are like the key things people are meant to add on their resumes apart from like all this? Oh, I studied this and that. I got first class. I got this.
I mean, okay. So I'll start like this. Yeah. Okay. Let me piggyback off the last thing you said on my initial answer.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to go to school. You have to come up with good grades. But now, to your question, your resume. Now it's nobody. Gone are the days when people want to see your state of origin. I mean, some people still do that.
Yeah.
Your state of origin, your local government area, your place of birth, all that is, please,
General,
if you can take it off.
meaningful information.
Yeah. So now people want to see what are the core skills you have. And when I say core skills, I know somebody out there is thinking, I can work under pressure. Please don't be able to work under pressure.
Don't do.
Please don't. So we want to know what are the core skills you have relative to the job we are trying to hire you for. Aside from that, we always advise that CVs, resumes should be specific to the job you're applying for. So the first one thing you want to do when you're putting together a resume is to look up possible skills or core competencies for that role. You get a lot of them on Google.
Yeah.
Pick a few, put them on your resume. You also want to state, yeah, you're going to state the school you went to, the degree you graduated with, and then another very important thing is the places you've worked. But now people just put a lot of talents put the places they've worked just as a passing. You want to Your CV sells you before you actually come to the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to, as much as possible, let them know that you have done a
Sure.
lot in that regard.
In
Let
that
them
role.
for that particular role. Yeah, you want to let them know that you've done. If you can go over and beyond with describing the things you did. No, don't just put I worked in XYZ company between this place and this place. No, you want to say your responsibilities. And I always advise that you also go ahead, and if you have achievements you want to mention,
Yeah.
you were staff of the month, you were staff of the year, you were awarded for doing this, you came up with this initiative that made the company so much money. Put it there. And sometimes these things they don't even have to be actual awards won. For example, I know someone who has on his CV that um, he was most dedicated staff of the year. And then I asked him, when did they give you this award? He was like, no, they didn't give me any award. I said, how did you not get it? He said he and his boss were having a conversation. And his boss was like, I like you. You are the most dedicated staff we have this year. And that for him, it was an
It's an
achievement.
achievement, yeah.
You want to say these things in a way that makes you interesting. Because if your CV is interesting, they would want to see you. Yeah, so those are the major things. Have your core skills, your core competencies, have the places you've worked, sell yourself in the places you've worked, and then have the other major details, school and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so what's up in a case of someone that is just like a fresh graduate now, has no like experience in having a job or anything like that?
Okay, I'm smiling because, as a matter of fact, the word is years of experience,
Yeah.
not years of job experience. Do you get the difference? So, for example, if I am applying to be a secretary
Mm-hmm.
in a company, right, and I just came out of school this year,
Yeah.
if I have been secretary of my church group for the past 3 years, does it count as experience?
It does.
Yes, it does. So a lot of talents, especially fresh graduates, think they don't have experience because they've not actually worked in a corporate establishment or worked to earn a living or
Yeah.
worked for a salary. No, you want to, especially for entry level graduates, you want to say that you have worked. You may not have worked for a salary, you may not have worked in an establishment, but you have worked. The things you did in church, a lot of church groups, a lot of young people are engaged in church.
Yeah.
You are engaged in committees. Some people do project management while in church. Some people do take notes, take minutes while in school. Some people are administrators while in school. So these are the things you want to point out, especially for yourself who is an entry level graduate. You want to say I've done work. So let's get away from this cliche that years of experience means the number of years I have worked in an establishment. No, years of experience is the number of years you spent doing that thing.
Yeah.
Have you done it in church? Have you done it in the SUG? Have you done it in any establishment? Put it there. It's interesting to see on your CV and you want to put it on your CV. Just meet a good recruiter that helps you with the right words to put them in your resume or your CV and you're good to go.
Okay. Right, that is very good advice. Thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
All right, so now, is LinkedIn like important in job search? Like, should people be actively posting what they've been doing, or should they just be optimizing their profile?
Okay. I'm going to answer it in this way, right?
Yeah.
LinkedIn is a professional social network.
Mhm.
However, it should not be used as a regular social media. So LinkedIn is not Instagram. LinkedIn is not Facebook.
Yeah.
We do not need to see your cutest pictures on LinkedIn. No. Instead, what I normally advise is one, ensure that your LinkedIn says everything there is to say about you professionally. And the way it's set up, you can go over the top with describing yourself on LinkedIn. That's one. Two, you want to when putting out thoughts on LinkedIn, you want to ensure that they are thoughts that would make people read them and go, this guy or this girl knows what they're saying. You don't want to put out a picture where resist the urge to look too cute on LinkedIn. Please just resist the urge to you look good,
Yeah.
but don't make it that place where you put the picture that has all the makeup and all that. If you're putting ideas on LinkedIn, make sure they are contemporary. Yeah, you can talk about God, and I talk about God on my LinkedIn. You can talk about God, but when you're talking about God, don't make it don't be cliche when using LinkedIn. Don't say what everybody else is saying. Don't say what everybody else is saying, but don't say it the way everybody else is saying it. I don't know if
Okay.
that makes sense. So that you want to be seen with a difference. You
Yeah.
want to be
I want
looked
to
at with a
stand
different.
out.
Exactly. You want to stand out when people go through your LinkedIn. So yes, it's another very helpful tool that LinkedIn has is a lot of job owners, employers
Yeah.
are on there. So you want to take advantage of that. LinkedIn allows you to set email alerts for jobs that fit your profile. So on a regular basis, it is very, very important because it makes sure you are applying for jobs.
Mhm.
Because almost on a daily basis, you get an email of new jobs
Yeah.
that are recruiting. And when you are constantly applying, I tell people that someone once told me that job hunting is a job on its own. So you want to be as meticulous with it as possible so that you don't miss anything or you don't miss any opportunity.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that opportunities don't pass you by, right? You want to make sure that and again, another thing that one good thing that LinkedIn does is it ensures that you get a response. Except employers that are not that don't know how to use LinkedIn are the ones that will not send you a response if you apply through LinkedIn. So as you're applying, you're certainly going to get a response. And if you get a response and it's negative, there's an option to some job posts comes with the profile of the person that's recruiting. So you
Okay.
can reach out to that person and be like, "Oh, I applied for this job. I didn't get it. Can you tell me why? Can I know what the issue is?" So you can get this kind of feedback. So yeah, it's important because it helps you one keep track of the jobs you post you're applying for because there's on your tab you can see all the jobs you applied for.
Yeah.
Helps you get feedback when you need it, and it's always makes sure that you're always applying because there are always new jobs on a regular basis. So yeah, I would say yes, you it's important, but don't treat it like a regular social media.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
LinkedIn is just mainly for visibility and networking.
exactly,
So
exactly.
just make sure you're putting yourself out there good enough for employers to notice you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to get into like the nerve wracking part of like finding a job. That is the interview.
Oh,
So now what are like the strategies that people should know? Like once they're getting ready for have an interview. Like what are things they should do, what are things they shouldn't do?
oh, okay.
Mm,
Okay, I'll start like this. First of all, as soon as you get the invite for an interview, the first thing you want to do is so I'll do it like this: pre-interview, during the interview, and post-interview.
okay.
So pre-interview, you want to read up as much as you can. You're reading up on the company. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of reading up only about the job
The job
and not
role.
about the company. Yes,
Okay.
you're reading your you cannot be excuse me you cannot be too ready for a job interview. However, you can actually be under ready. Like, so I know what I'm trying to say is there's no such thing as being too ready. However, if you do not,
Prepare.
there are certain things you will miss that will, no matter how ready you think you are, you're still not going to scale through the interview. One, read up about the job, read up about the company. The reason is when you're reading about the, okay, so reading about the job is easy because I mean it's something you've
You
most
obviously
likely done
have,
it before,
yeah,
or you before you apply for the job you've
you
read
will
up on
know
it,
what you
right?
want to apply
But
for.
the
Yeah.
reason why you're reading up on the company is because companies have culture, companies have certain peculiarities.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, how you what you come to the company to the interview looking like can make you not get the job. For example, I mean everybody knows that you can't go to an MTN interview putting on red or any touch of red. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. So these are the things you will get when you go when you read up on the company. You get to know what their culture is. You get to know what their their core values are. And knowing these things will help you to, I mean, when you ask questions, you can answer them and relate them to the core values you've read up on.
Yeah.
You want to read up on. Sometimes it's always good to know. I mean, companies have profiles of their directors on their website.
Website.
Go to the website, play around the website, get tidbits, get little details that you can put into answers to make your answers nicer. For example, if assuming you read up on the company and you see that their director or the owner of the company is from the same state that you're from. When you go to that interview and you're introducing yourself and you mention it and you put it out there, like for example, you ask me to introduce myself, I'm telling you my name is this, I come from Imo State, the same place where your director comes from. Everybody in the interview takes interest in you because you took that time to actually read up on them.
Yeah.
So it's important to have these little details. They will make your answers sweeter. They will make you more interesting to
Yeah.
the panel. Now this is before the interview. Now on the day of the interview, first things first, please be in a good mood. So don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. If you can go to bed the previous night as early as possible, so that because we'll get to getting to the interview venue late, right?
Yeah.
But if you wake up on the wrong side of your bed the day of an interview, everything goes wrong. So you want to ensure that you wake up on the right side of your bed. You want to ensure that you dress smart. Don't wear the wrong size of clothing. Don't wear the wrong size of underwear, please. It can mess up everything.
Yeah.
Then go to the venue early. That everybody knows that you can't go late to an interview.
Obviously.
You get there. You be cautious, be courteous, be cool, be interesting. Don't get to the interview venue and then sit away from every other candidate because you feel like you don't want anybody to
To
mess
be
with your flow.
distracted.
No, sit with people. Some interview venues have cameras and they're looking at you just like Big Brother, how you relate, how you
Oh.
communicate with others. So when you get to the interview venue, if you're not the only candidate there, be cool, sit down, greet the person
Interact.
sitting beside you, ask them questions, know them. You never know.
Yeah.
And that also helps you to maintain a degree of calmness. Then before you now get into the interview, into the panel itself, when you get to the panel, you want to answer the questions the right way. You want to think about questions before you answer them. You want to ensure that you are what's that word? You're not answering hastily. You are thinking carefully before you answer your questions. You're not rushing your answers. You're not giving. It's better. Well, it's not good to talk too much,
Mm.
but give as adequate a response as you can to every question. No question in an interview panel is useless. Every question is important. Some panelists will ask you questions you would never expect. Don't tell them I can't answer this question because it's against my belief. No, they might see that you're a Christian and they tell you what do you think about Allah, and you can't. At that point you can mess the whole interview up if you give an answer that doesn't make sense. Then post after the interview, you want to thank them.
Yeah.
If you received an email inviting you to the interview, it's always cool to
Responding
respond to that
them.
email, thanking them for the
Opportunity.
opportunity, and then say something nice. The discussion was insightful. I learned this. I learned that. Try and everybody has an ego that should be massaged. If the person that sent you that email is the one making the decision, what you say in that email might sway them your way. You never know. So thank them, tell them something nice, tell them you like the ambience. Just say something to show that you care. Because nowadays a lot of people want to know how much you care about them to the point. How much did you how much how immersed in the whole process were you. So that's for me, that's my if you ask me to advise, that's the way I would put it. Ensure that if you do all these things, then I'm sure you would have made a good impression on them at the interview.
Okay. Well, that's really good information. Even I personally have learned some things. So thank you very much, Fortune.
Welcome.
All right, so Fortune, let's say now you've nailed the interview, you've gotten the job,
Okay.
and now it's like time to negotiate the price, like the salary. How do you negotiate in a way that you don't sound too desperate or like you're asking for too much?
Oh, okay. It depends. Now, some employers will make it easy on you and tell you what the salary budget is before you even apply. Those ones are good to go. If you're not comfortable with it, don't apply for it. For those whose salary budget is open, the first thing you want to do is go online. If you check on Google, there are a lot of platforms, there's Glassdoor, even LinkedIn provides such insights. Indeed also provides such insight. What you're asking is, what is the salary range for this job with this year level of experience and all of that. So most times you get the value in dollar. So you want to be careful not to quickly convert to naira and go and name the naira amount. Those ones are just overzealous. But you want to, once you have that information in hand, I always advise you mark up by between 20 to 40%. Why do you do that? So it's like saying to yourself, okay, this is what this job is worth, but I know I can bring XYZ value in addition to the regular thing. So markup is fine. You also want to ensure that you observe the company itself. So in your research for the company, you will get to see a lot of things. You will get to see pictures. You will know that there are certain pictures you see online that will tell you, okay, what the company is worth. So you don't want to go to a company that doesn't have a good online presence to go and start asking for a 5 million naira salary. You know that they can pay you that amount. So first off, research, do your own personal research. Then markup, do a reasonable markup of what you get doing the personal research. And then when you're communicating this figure, let them understand that it's negotiable. And another very important thing to note is, do not just negotiate monetary value, also negotiate other perks and benefits. Many a time, a lot of candidates get it wrong when they negotiate just the salary. Most times, the monetary amount you get in your account at the end of the month is not commensurate to other values, other benefits. The health insurance. Please note, pension is not a benefit. It is not a benefit. Every company is mandated
to give you
to remit an amount to the pension fund. So negotiate other benefits like health insurance, not just for yourself. For those who are married, ensure you negotiate for your family, because some employers are very, very funny. They want to get health insurance only for you because you're the one that works with them. So negotiate health insurance for yourself, for your family. Negotiate benefits that would ensure that you